Okay, so this is the current status of Kaylee, my gaming rig build of 2017. Today I've got my hard drive in the mail, and you'll notice that's right there. That is my hard drive. This is using something called M.2, or you can see NVMe on there. This is a 500 gigabyte SSD drive that hooks right into the motherboard. The problem with the SATA standard is we pretty much come to the limitation of how fast you can go. Right now SATA is limited to 6 gigabytes per second, or 6 gigabits. So this connector has the potential to go much faster than that. Right now, from what I understand, most of these drives are pretty much the same thing as SSDs when it comes to speed. This was about the same price as SSDs that I was looking at. I think it was $20 more. And you know what? I like the latest and greatest, so I decided to check out that card. I am going to get a disk drive as well, but mainly my operating system and some games will run on this hard drive right now. That's usually how I roll. I'll have an SSD for the main stuff that runs quickly. Oh, power went out. Woohoo! Battery backup works. Look at that. Uh-oh. Apparently it didn't work enough. Well, I'll just keep going. Everything's turning back on. So apparently I need to get a new battery backup, because that did not last at all. So I'll just show you the other thing I've been doing here today. And the other thing I've been doing, let's just unplug everything right now since it's all off, just to take extra precautions. And I have to turn that off, and I can hear thunder outside right now. So today is most of my effort has been into my whole wiring today, because I went and got a power supply. And one of the nice things about this, I did have a 800 watt power supply, but this thing is like a squid, and there are just so many wires. It's almost like you're watching an anime movie. I'm just waiting for this thing to come alive. Before with this, I had so many wires I could not close the back of this case. I had wires jumbled up in here, wires jumbled up in here, wires jumbled up in here, and I still could not close the case. So I was looking for something with this style of component, modular system, where I can just plug in 3 wires. I only need 3 wires at the moment. So mainly I'm just going to the CPU and the motherboard. It's actually 2 wires, but one of them actually splits into 2 wires back there. So that's why I say 3 wires. The other problem I had is, you'll notice there's connectors for VGA. There's actually 4 of them, and that goes directly to the video cards these days. And this guy here did not have the connectors I needed, other than the one that goes straight to the CPU. So as soon as I got my video card, I would have had to swap out this power supply anyway. So yeah, let's just nip that in the butt, get that out, swap that in, and we're done. A lot of my work today was just wiring this thing up. The nice thing about this case, which is, was it Gamer Storm? The Genome. I got the white case with the blue double helix up there. So that's actually part of the liquid cooling system. But there's a lot of nice things about this case, which I continue to discover. So these little brackets here are for your zip ties, which I have a ton of these things. Look at that. Walmart special. So mainly I've been snaking wires around the areas, mainly so that they stay out of the way. The motherboard's in front and you don't see wires in front of the display. So this case actually has a giant window in front of it, and there are practically no wires that you see going across the motherboard except for to the water pump, which I decided to zip tie those wires so they're not hanging loose, and to the fan, which they were tied up with a metal twist tie, but I took that off and replaced it with a plastic zip tie. But you can see everything else. See, this goes right under into that slot under there. That cable goes under, and these go in to the sides, and the one to the CPU is back there, and it goes out through the corner up there. So everything's staying away from that motherboard. Nothing's going across it, mainly because that motherboard lights up and it's kind of on display. So this is where my SSDs will actually attach to once I get them set up. But I'm not using SSDs. What I'm using is that M.2 card on the front. But I will be using a disk drive, and this is where your disk drives will sit. And I'm debating whether I should go with a RAID configuration with 2 drives or just stick with 1. Because I do use them quite a bit as kind of like a backup / storage solution. So it might be quicker just to do a RAID on them. I even went ahead and put my little speaker on the back there. It's just hanging up there, just tucked out of the way. My fan hub is also on here. There's like 3 fans in the top that this plugs into. And the USB 3 is the biggest problem that I nailed in the butt today. So you'll see there's actually a ring. Let me see, there's a ring of these 2 thick wires that goes around. And you'll see I use these white twist ties or zip ties to go around there. And if you've seen a prior video, you would have seen that, let me see if I can get this up here. I'm just trying to use a flashlight to get a better lighting up in here because it's kind of dark in this area. This I had previously coming through here because a previous motherboard, this was going through the black area there, and it pulled the pins and bent them out a little bit when it got tugged. So I thought I'd play it safe and come from up here and go direct into the motherboard. This time I decided to get a little bit smart and creative about it and go with a circle so I could have an arc here, and it forces that arc to be there. So that now the pressure is going straight into the motherboard instead of being pulled into that black area directly. And the other thing is, because I am using like 4 zip ties, nothing's going to pull at this wire by accident. And you know, you can see I use a lot of clear zip ties in this area just because people are going to be looking into the case to see all of that. Yeah. So there's a few things that impress me these days about this build. Is I didn't realize how much people like to have their motherboards lit up. I always go with these gaming motherboards, but this one lights up in all different colors, and that hard drive impresses me with how small it is and what the size is. I'm still a little shocked over that. And I decided to, now that I know the wires are not going to come apart anymore, that I do have a power supply that's more permanent, I went ahead and put the thermal paste on my CPU, and pretty much that water pump's on there. It's a more permanent nature that the CPU and the water pump are bonded or whatnot with that thermal paste. Yeah, so that's about it. I mean, I was debating on going with the white power supply, just because the box is white. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do about that. Maybe I can just put something white down in there, but maybe it's not as much of a big deal as I think it is. Alright, that's the video. Have fun. Keep on gaming.